the blunders that reshaped the universe. If you look closely into the history of science, you won't find a straight line of progress. You won't see a perfect chain of brilliant decisions. Instead, you'll find something far more human: confusion, doubt, wrong turns, and the accidental sparks that opened entire universes. And our journey begins with the most iconic scientific mistake of all time: Einstein's greatest blunder that became a cosmic treasure. In 1917, Albert Einstein sat alone with his equations, trying to understand the shape and behavior of the universe. His new theory, general relativity, predicted something shocking: the universe could not be static. It had to either expand or collapse. But this didn't match what every scientist of the era believed. The universe, they assumed, was eternal and unmoving. Einstein doubted himself. He doubted his own discovery. And so, to force the universe into stillness, he added a strange new term to his equations: the cosmological constant, a mathematical patch designed to keep everything frozen in place. He later called it "my greatest blunder." But decades later, astronomers discovered that the universe is not just expanding, it is expanding faster and faster. Something was pushing galaxies apart. That mysterious force? The same cosmological constant Einstein once regretted. His mistake became the key to unlocking dark energy, one of the most important discoveries in modern astrophysics. A wrong calculation ended up revealing the fate of the universe. Newton's incorrect theory that built an entire science. Isaac Newton, the man who gave us gravity, also built modern optics through a mistake. Newton firmly believed that light was made of tiny particles bouncing around like miniature rocks. This idea was controversial, misunderstood, and, by modern standards, only partially correct. But that wrong idea pushed him into experiments no one else had even imagined. He passed sunlight through a prism, splitting it into a rainbow. He realized that colors are part of light itself, not created by glass. He designed the reflecting telescope, still used today. He laid the foundation for the science of light and vision. His incorrect assumption forced him to explore deeper, and that exploration built an entire field of physics. A flawed theory created a perfect legacy. Kepler's geometric failure that exposed the solar system's truth. Johannes Kepler was obsessed with the idea that the universe was built on perfect shapes. He believed the orbits of planets fit inside a set of nested geometric solids: cubes, spheres, dodecahedrons. He spent years trying to force the data to match his belief. But the numbers refused to obey. Instead of giving up, Kepler followed the contradiction. He studied Mars, the most stubborn planet in the sky, and discovered something revolutionary. Planets do not move in circles, they move in ellipses. Kepler's failed theory led directly to the laws of planetary motion, the foundation of space travel and modern astronomy. A wrong belief revealed the true structure of the heavens. Conclusion: three giants of science, Einstein, Newton, Kepler, each stepped off the right path. Each made a mistake. But instead of stopping, they followed the error to its end. And there, in the heart of each mistake, the universe was waiting. The mistakes that saved millions of lives. Not every world-changing mistake happens in the silence of observatories or the loneliness of mathematicians. Some unfold in messy laboratories, rushed routines, and ordinary moments that accidentally bend the direction of human history. Chapter 2 is the story of scientific errors that didn't just reveal truths, they saved lives, healed civilizations, and reshaped medicine forever. Fleming's sloppy lab that became a medical revolution. It was a warm morning in 1928 when Alexander Fleming returned to his London lab after a short vacation. His desk was cluttered, petri dishes left open, bacteria cultures scattered around, the kind of mess most scientists try to avoid. But as Fleming glanced over his workstation, one dish stopped him cold. Inside it, a strange blue-green mold had grown. And around that mold lay a clear ring, an empty space where bacteria had been completely destroyed. Most researchers would have thrown away the contaminated dish. But Fleming leaned closer. He didn't ignore the mistake. He investigated it. That mold was Penicillium notatum, and from that tiny accident came penicillin, the world's first true antibiotic. It began the medical revolution that has saved hundreds of millions of lives, from infected wounds to pneumonia, from childbirth infections to battlefield injuries. A small act of curiosity inside a messy lab changed the fate of humanity. Marie Curie's missteps that unlocked the power of radiation. Marie Curie's journey into the unknown world of radiation was filled with uncertainty, miscalculations, and genuine danger. She and her husband Pierre worked with glowing samples, unaware of the severe health risks. They kept radium vials in their pockets, handled radioactive materials with bare hands, and sometimes stored them in drawers like simple tools. They made mistakes, dangerous ones. But through these missteps, the Curies uncovered groundbreaking truths. The discovery of polonium and radium, the concept of radioactivity, early research that would lead to radiation therapy for cancer, a new understanding of the atom's inner structure. Marie Curie ultimately paid a personal cost, but her willingness to confront the unknown gave birth to an entirely new scientific era. Her mistakes illuminated the invisible world, the noise that proved the Big Bang. In 1964, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson faced a different kind of problem, an annoying static buzzing inside their giant radio antenna. No matter what they did, the noise stayed. They checked every cable, every circuit, every frequency. Finally, they climbed inside the antenna and found pigeons nesting there. They cleaned out the birds. They cleaned out their droppings. They sealed every gap. But the noise continued. Frustrated and confused, they finally reached a stunning realization. This wasn't a technical issue. It was the oldest light in the universe, the cosmic microwave background radiation, the echo of the Big Bang itself. Their problem was actually the most important evidence of how the universe began. Conclusion. These mistakes, a contaminated dish, misjudged radiation, stubborn static, weren't failures. They were openings, cracks in reality that revealed deeper truths. And behind each one stood a mind that chose not to ignore the error, but to follow it. Mistakes didn't just guide science. They saved humanity. The missteps that built modern technology. Not every scientific revolution begins with a perfect experiment. Sometimes, the technologies that shape our daily lives, the phones we hold, the ovens we use, the signals that connect our world, begin as small missteps no one planned. Chapter 3 is the story of mistakes that didn't just reveal scientific truths, they created the modern technological age. Tesla's tower that failed but sparked a wireless world. In the early 1900s, Nikola Tesla stood in the shadow of a giant structure rising from the earth, the Wardenclyffe Tower. It was meant to be a marvel of humanity, a transmitter capable of delivering wireless electricity across the world. No wires. No power lines. Just energy flowing through the air. Investors called him delusional. Engineers said it was impossible. And when funding disappeared, the tower collapsed into history. Tesla died believing his greatest vision had failed. But time proved otherwise. The principles Tesla used, resonance, wireless transmission, electromagnetic waves, became the foundation of Wi-Fi signals, wireless charging systems, Bluetooth communication, global telecommunication infrastructure. It turns out Tesla wasn't wrong. He was simply ahead of everyone else. His failure became the blueprint for the wireless universe we live in today. The accidental discoveries that power our lives. History's technological progress is filled with unexpected, unplanned, unbelievable accidents, each one shaping our lives in ways the inventors could never have guessed. The X-ray, a glowing mystery that saved millions. In 1895, Wilhelm Röntgen was experimenting with cathode rays when he noticed a strange glow coming from a nearby screen. He didn't know what it was, so he called it X, the symbol of the unknown. That unknown became the X-ray. A mistake of curiosity now helps doctors see broken bones, tumors, and hidden fractures without ever opening the body. One unexpected glow became a life-saving global tool. The microwave, a candy bar, sparks a kitchen revolution. During World War II, engineer Percy Spencer was testing a radar magnetron when something odd happened. A chocolate bar in his pocket melted. Not from heat in the room, but from invisible microwaves. Spencer repeated the experiment with popcorn. Then an egg. Then a cooking cavity. The result? The microwave oven, now used in homes around the world. A melted candy bar fed millions. Vulcanized rubber, a spill that reinvented industry. In 1839, Charles Goodyear accidentally spilled a mixture of rubber and sulfur onto a hot stove. Instead of burning, the rubber transformed, it became tough, resilient, weatherproof. This ruined mixture became vulcanized rubber, used in tires, shoes, machines, factories, transportation across the world. One slip of the hand created an industrial empire. Conclusion. Every failure in this chapter carried a hidden message. Innovation is rarely planned. It's discovered. Tesla's broken dream gave us the wireless age. A glowing screen revealed the human skeleton. A melted chocolate bar changed the kitchen. A spilled mixture built modern industry. Technology wasn't built by perfection. It was built by accidents, embraced by curious minds. Mistakes didn't just guide science. They built the world we live in. The philosophy of being wrong. Every great discovery begins with a question. And more often than not, that question begins with a mistake, a moment when reality refuses to match expectation. Chapter 4 isn't about a single scientist or a single experiment. It's about the philosophy that turned human error into humanity's greatest engine of progress. Being wrong is the first door to discovery. Throughout history, brilliance hasn't come from perfection. It has come from those willing to confront confusion. When Einstein added a number he later regretted, when Kepler tried forcing the planets into perfect shapes, when Fleming stared at a contaminated dish, each one faced a simple truth. They were wrong. But instead of hiding their mistakes, they followed them. That mindset, the courage to ask why didn't this work, is what separates ordinary thinkers from world-changing ones. Mistakes are not dead ends. They're invitations. The courage to doubt yourself. The greatest scientists weren't confident all the time. Einstein admitted confusion. Newton rewrote theories repeatedly. Curie walked into the unknown with no guarantee of safety. They didn't fear being wrong. They feared stopping. They understood a powerful truth. Doubt is not weakness, it's fuel. When an experiment goes wrong, when an equation collapses, when an idea breaks apart, doubt pushes the mind to dig deeper. Curiosity grows where certainty collapses. The invisible value of failure. Failure is rarely celebrated, but in science, it's one of the most valuable tools ever created. A failed apparatus forces a redesign. A wrong prediction reveals a hidden LW. An unexpected result unlocks a new direction. Think of Penzias and Wilson, frustrated with a buzzing noise that refused to disappear. That frustration turned into the greatest proof of the Big Bang. Think of Tesla, labeled a failure for a tower that never worked, yet the principles he discovered built the wireless age. Science does not punish mistakes. Science depends on them. Curiosity, the compass that never breaks. At the heart of every world-changing mistake is one quality: curiosity. Curiosity is what made Fleming lean over a moldy petri dish instead of throwing it away. Curiosity made Kepler question why Mars refused to follow a perfect circle. Curiosity led Röntgen to investigate a mysterious glow and discover X-rays. It is the compass that keeps the scientific mind moving, even when the map is wrong. Curiosity turns a mistake into a masterpiece. The future belongs to the fearless. As we step further into the unknown, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, deep space exploration, we must remember the true foundation of science. Not perfection, not certainty, not flawless logic, but fearlessness. Fearlessness to explore a wrong idea. Fearlessness to question accepted truth. Fearlessness to say, this doesn't make sense, let's find out why. The mistakes of the past built our present. The mistakes we embrace today will build our future. Conclusion. The greatest breakthroughs in human history were born from errors. Einstein's regret. Curie's danger. Kepler's failed geometry. Fleming's contaminated dish. Each mistake opened a new doorway into the unknown. And that is the philosophy that changed the world. Being wrong isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning. Mistakes are not obstacles. They are signals. They point to new worlds waiting to be discovered. And for the minds brave enough to follow them, the universe is wide open.